And I am glad that she was voted on by more than 2-1, approved by more than 2-1. That will say something about the best of America. I want to salute our 9 Republican colleagues who had tremendous pressure on them. This was not a free will decision on their side of the aisle. There was all kinds of pressure to vote no, and 9 had the courage to do the right thing and vote yes, and that's important as well.
And finally, the Queen of Diamonds, Dianne Feinstein, who said it was a great day for the Supreme Court as she gave up some business deals for the family business.
Now, finally, here we are, and we have a new Supreme Court justice. And I think it's truly a great day for the United States Supreme Court. I think it's a great day for the law. I think it's a great day for justice. I think it's a great day for every young woman out there that says, yes, I can do it if I work hard.
Yep, if you work hard or if you happen to be the right race or sex. Yep. We also talked about war dogs of the Pacific. I saw an amazing documentary last night called War Dogs of the Pacific. It was about the U.S. Marines in the Pacific fighting hand-to-hand combat with the Japanese during World War II, and how they used these amazing dogs to sniff out the enemy. It was incredible to watch these rock-hard men who saved us from fascism talk about how they felt about their dogs, how when their dogs were injured, they went to pieces. It was one of the most touching things I've ever seen in the history of documentary film. We have a trailer for that. Let me hear it now to give me something to think about.
I never picked him out. He picked me out.
They trained for 8 hours a day. But that's the only person the dog knew.
Their smell and hearing is so acute.
I couldn't imagine going into a jungle without a dog.
I know they were close before they ever got there.
Oh, my God, they're shooting the birds. They saved hundreds of lives, including mine.
There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of that dog.
Here's James Herson with a report on the shenanigans going on in Hollywood.
Thanks, Michael. Chicago-style pressure politics are being used on Hollywood television executives. The White House strong-armed ABC, NBC, and CBS to place President Obama's health scare press conference on primetime TV. This was reported by the Washington Post. Now, primetime presidential press conferences used to be rare. George W. Bush held 4 of them in 8 years. Obama has had 4 in 6 months. And Obama's staging, planting of reporters, and long-winded prepared statements has left very little in the way of news value coming out of these numerous press events. And the network heads aren't happy. ABC, NBC, and CBS have lost as much as $40 million in advertising in order to carry Obama's staged events. By the way, the Fox broadcast TV network has declined to carry the last 2 Obama sessions. When TV execs started to resist giving up valuable prime time for the socialized medicine show, Rahm Emanuel was brought in to make offers, well, the kind of offers the network couldn't refuse. According to Emanuel's spokesperson, Sarah Feinberg, press prevaricator Robert Gibbs found out TV executives were complaining about preempting primetime shows, so Gibbs went to the White House enforcer, Rambo. According to Feinberg, Rahm made a round of calls to network executives to discuss ways the White House could, as she said, accommodate concerns. Well, Rahm didn't bother with the heads of the respective networks, though. He went to the parent company chiefs. Instead of calling the head of ABC, Rahm phoned Bob Iger, chief executive of parent company Disney. Instead of contacting the guy who runs NBC, Emanuel went to Jeffrey Immelt, chief executive of parent company General Electric. He also spoke with Les Moonves, the chief executive of CBS, but that's because that company had already been spun off from Viacom, or he would have called the parent company head there as well. Now, Immelt has been solidly behind the Obama agenda. He's a member of the administration's Economic Recovery Advisory Board. Now, Emanuel was referred by Immelt to NBC CEO Jeff Zucker, who undoubtedly was made aware his boss had been contacted. So Rambo made the deal. Emanuel may have consulted his super agent Hollywood brother, Ari, because he used an old Hollywood agent trick, saving the big call to Disney chief Iger until after he had obtained a deal from NBC and CBS. So TV execs are doing this reluctantly, losing money during a recession.
Are you kidding? Why?
Because political pressure works. Senior VP of CBS, Paul Friedman, admitted that the execs feel the pressure and that even the news divisions have mixed feelings about whether they are being used. And NBC Washington bureau chief Mark Whitaker said Obama's at risk of overexposure. He thinks there are other ways to have a dialogue other than taking up an hour of prime time. But Chicago-style bullying apparently gets results in Hollywood. Via his heavy-handed tactics, Emanuel was able to get an hour of prime-time television for the fourth time in 6 months. And unlike the Bush administration that had let execs know in advance that news conference dates would be coming, Obama staffers waited until the last moment to notify the networks of their plans. Yes, the Windy City White House gang dictated the timing to the networks each time they've staged an Obama press conference. Question is, will the networks continue to cave to the demand for valuable prime time when news conferences are available on the cable news channels? Well, Rahm and company had better not call the Savage Nation to preempt any programming. Even Chicago thuggery couldn't pull that one off. Thanks, Michael, for all you do. Back to you, my friend.
Thanks, James. It doesn't seem that the Hollywood mentality is getting any better under Obama. Not that I expected it to. I'm Michael Savage. We'll be right back.
Fresh and original every day. Live and real. On the air, online, on demand. Armstrong and Getty. Weekday morning 6 to 10. Talk 910 KNEW.
Here's what's on michaelsavage.com. You got to start at the bottom this time and read your way up. From the New York Post, self-hating Jews mock their own religion in a play. The cast includes a hip-hop-loving bar mitzvah boy who greets his guests with a hearty "what's up," and a very pregnant lesbian rabbi from Brooklyn. Unbelievable what self-hating Jews will do to mock themselves for a buck. Next story is Chavez, Venezuela to buy Russian arms and tanks. We're all socialists now, eh? When did they close down the radio stations and take over the newspapers? But actually, they don't have to take over the newspapers. They've already done so. And, of course, in a ho-hum moment, Senate confirms Sotomayor to the Supreme Court, acting as though she's going to change the entire world simply because she's a woman who got where she is through affirmative action. I kind of doubt it. The man who sprayed bullets into a fitness class filled with women he didn't know, killing 3 and then himself, kept a webpage on which he wrote, "Women just don't like me." Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Repressed rage. Madoff victims being ripped off by lawyers. Henry Gates, who's he? Why, he's the distinguished professor at Harvard. What has Henry Gates got that Michael Savage doesn't? I'll let you read the article by Ellis Washington. Remember the freezer cash former lawmaker, Rep. William Jefferson from New Orleans, who was accused of taking bribes? He's the guy who had $90,000 in his freezer.